Quick and correct ABG interpretation is always helpful for saving life. ABG interpretation narrows down your differential and you can take immediate therapeutic measure. Hello friend, welcome to my YouTube channel 5 Minute Pediatric. In the last video of ABG, we have learned about approach to hypoxemia along with arterial oxygen tension and partial pressure of oxygen in alveoli and in artery and alveolar gas equation and its clinical importance. In this video I will teach you about the concept of ABG interpretation with the help of example. I will focus mostly on mixed acid base disturbances. This is the ABG of a patient, and in last lecture we have covered approach to hypoxemia and we learned about the significance of PO2, SO2, P capital AO2, AA gradient. Okay, in this video we will cover about pH, PCO2, bicarb, anion gap, okay, and anion gap along with delta gap and its clinical importance. So this video is going to be long, but you will be surely benefit after watching this video. So we have this diagram. So 7.4, 7.35, 7.45. So 7.35 to 7.45 is normal and 7.4 is midpoint. 7.45 more than, if the value we get, it called alkalemia, and if the value is less than 7.35 we have acidemia. For acidemia we have increased CO2 or decreased bicarbonate. If CO2 is increased, then we have respiratory acidosis, and if the bicarbonate is decreased, then we have metabolic acidosis. Similarly, for alkalemia we have to decrease PCO2, and if it is decreased, then we call it respiratory alkalosis, and if bicarbonate is increased, then we call it metabolic alkalosis. Okay, before going further, we must remember the normal value for pH, PCO2 and bicarb. For normal pH we have 7.35 to 45. Similarly for PCO2 45 to 35. You can easily remember. Now for similarly the normal value of bicarbonate we have 22 to 26. Okay, you have to remember this value only. Okay, now we have the rule before going to ABG case report. Okay, rule number 1, fully compensated when we call. Okay, when we call it fully compensated, if the pH is normal. Okay, rule number 2, if all three value, that is pH, PCO2 and bicarbonate, are abnormal, then this is partially compensated state. Okay, and rule 3 we have, if PCO2 or bicarbonate is normal and other is abnormal, okay, this is compensated. Okay, uncompensated, sorry, this is uncompensated. Now this rule we will apply in ABG. Okay, case first we have pH 7.04, PCO2 of 36, bicarbonate we have 8.7. So we will make a 3 by 3 column, and we will write acidosis, normal, alkalosis. So here we have pH in the acidotic column as pH is less than 7.35. okay, we write here pH, and we look CO2. CO2, the normal value 35, it comes in under normal range, and bicarbonate normal is 20 to 26, for acidosis 8.7. okay, here we have metabolic acidosis. okay, now rule number 2 we follow. If any of the value either PCO2 or bicarbonate normal, then it is uncompensated. okay, rule 3, that is we have if we have this metabolic acidosis uncompensated, we calculate an ion gap. okay, if for calculating an ion gap we must have serum sodium, serum chloride and bicarbonate. okay, the normal value is 8 to 12. either we have high anion gap or normal anion gap. If we have high anion gap, we have mud piles. okay, M for methanol poisoning, U for uremia, D for diabetic ketoacidosis, P for polyethylene glycol poisoning, paraldehyde, I for INS toxicity, L for lactic acidosis, and E for ethylene glycol, S for salicylate poisoning. okay, I have already made video on approach to renal tubular acidosis. okay, if we have normal anion gap, we have differential as diarrhea or RTA, then we have to differentiate both of these condition, and we calculate urinary anion gap. okay, urinary anion gap, as we know that urinary anion gap may be negative or positive. For detail you can go to my channel and watch lecture on approach to RTO. Now one more term we have to, now delta ratio. okay, delta ratio is calculated by using measured anion gap minus 12 divided by 24 minus measured bicarbonate. okay, so if the value we have less than 0.4, the condition we get normal anion gap metabolic acidosis, NAGMA. If the value we get 0.4 to 0.8, we have mixed normal anion gap metabolic acidosis plus high anion gap metabolic acidosis. And if we have value in between 0.8 to 2, okay, we have pure high anion gap metabolic acidosis. okay, and if the value is more than 2, we have mixed condition, we have mixed high anion gap metabolic acidosis plus metabolic alkalosis, or we have pre-existing compensated respiratory acidosis. okay, now we have case number 2. okay, pH is 7.75, PCO2 is 35.4, bicarbonate we have 47.4. okay, again we draw same table, acidosis, normal and alkalosis. Here pH we have towards the alkalosis side. okay, now PCO2 we have normal and bicarbonate also alkalosis side. okay, now we have condition called metabolic alkalosis. So we already know that if any of the value is normal, okay, this is purely uncompensated state metabolic alkalosis. Okay, if we have this condition metabolic alkalosis, then we go for urinary chloride level, and if the urinary chloride is less than 15 or more than 20. Okay, if urinary chloride is more than 20, we have chloride resistant condition. Then we check for blood pressure. Okay, if the blood pressure is high or if blood pressure is normal. Okay, if blood pressure is high, we have mnemonics called RACE, RACE, okay, RACE. R for renin secreting tumor, R for renovascular disease, A for adrenal adenoma, C for CAH, C for Cushing, and C for Cons. E for exogenous steroid. We should not forget two other conditions, Liddle's and licorice injection. Okay, these are with high blood pressure. Okay, if BP is normal, we have to beg, Bartter-Esser syndrome and Gitelman syndrome. You can easily remember the cause for metabolic alkalosis. Okay, similarly, if we have less than 15 urinary chloride, this is called chloride responsive condition, and anything is out from the stomach in the form of vomiting or GI aspiration cause chloride responsive metabolic alkalosis. Okay, now we have case 3. We have pH 7.42, PCO2 93.3, bicarbonate is 58.6. So again we draw the table. pH is normal and PCO2 towards the acidotic side and bicarbonate towards the alkalotic side. So as the pH is normal, the condition is fully compensated. Now we have, as the pH is 7.42, as we know that it is slightly toward the alkalotic side, so we have alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis. Okay, and if there is base, bicarbonate is increased, so CO2 is also increased to neutralize it. So we have respiratory acidosis, we have mixed acid base disturbances. Now if other method we have, we can calculate the P predicted CO2 by a formula 0.9 into bicarbonate plus 9. Okay, and we get P predicted CO2 61.74. Now P measured is more than P predicted, so we have respiratory acidosis. Okay, suppose if this value P predicted is less than P measured, then there would be respiratory alkalosis. Okay, now we have case 4. pH we have 7.00, PCO2 we have 79.8, bicarbonate we have 18.8. Okay, and the killing condition, the child with gasping, baby with severe dehydration. Okay, again we draw same table, alkalosis, acidosis and normal. Okay, here pH is showing acidosis, we write pH. PCO2 is also showing acidotic side, we write, and all the three comes towards the acidotic side. Okay, and all the three value are abnormal, which means this is partially compensated state. Okay, now here we have acidosis. Okay, and acidosis, we have respiratory acidosis, we have metabolic acidosis. Okay, this condition also exists. For For respiratory acidosis, we have compensation rule for acute. For every 10 mm increase in CO2, the bicarbonate increase by 1. And in chronic, we have for every 10 mm increase 3.5. okay. Now we have case number 5. okay. Case 5, we have pH of 7.66, PCO2 of 30.5, bicarbonate we have 34.6. Again we draw same acidosis, normal and alkalosis. okay. pH towards alkalosis side, PCO2 decreased, it also comes under alkalosis. Bicarbonate is increased and it occurs in alkalosis. So all three different value means this is also partially compensated state. okay. So we have alkalosis, respiratory and metabolic both. okay. Now for respiratory alkalosis, we have also compensation rule. For every 10 mm decrease of PCO2, we have 2 milliequivalent per liter increase in bicarb. okay. And for chronic, we have 4 milliequivalent per liter. Now case 6, we have pH of 7.26, PaCO2 we have 30, bicarb we have 17. Again we draw all the three value are different, so it is partially compensated state. So pH and bicarbonate comes toward the acidotic side and PCO2 comes towards the alkalosis side. So we have metabolic acidosis. So we calculate P predicted here and P predicted is less than P measured. So we have respiratory alkalosis. Thanks for watching.